Thirdphaseofmoon.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. You want some UFOs? You've come to the right place. Blake Cousins, welcome to the show, everybody. We got a lot of things we want to share with you tonight, including eyewitness testimony from on the ground reporting from Fredericksburg, Virginia. But before we get to that, I want to share with you this video that just come in out of Malaysia of what looks to be a massive, plentiful display of orbs in the skies descending down on the city. Watch this. Alright, we're going to look at this video a little closer. I want to get your thoughts, guys. What do you guys think is going on over Malaysia? This doesn't resemble the exact characteristics of Chinese lanterns, but it could be. It's interesting. I'm more leaning towards a drone display, but if you weren't the other wiser to that, you might think that it could be some kind of possible invasion or something to this sort, but I'm not exactly sure if they gave a heads up to the city. Is there some kind of celebration going on? But it's an interesting array of lights. In my opinion, I'm leaning towards drones. What's your thoughts, Brent?
Yeah, if this was an actual event of UFO activity over there, over the city of Malaysia, I would think there'd be more activity, some sort of mention in the media, just breaking news. So yeah, obviously I think we're looking at some sort of human display of probably maybe Chinese lanterns, like you said earlier. They do show those characteristics. It is a little out of focus, so it just looks more like an orb. And then again, it could be drones with some sort of light display as well. Again, we're going to keep a close look on this.
You know what's strange, Brent? When I'm looking at this video a little bit closer, you can see that all the orbs are descending pretty much consistently at the same time. And when I look at Chinese lantern videos, they kind of descend at different rates of speeds. They kind of pick up wind movement and drift off in other directions. These orbs, whatever they are, seem consistent in their descent. So that's an interesting thing to observe there. Again, they could be drones, and that might explain it a little bit more on the consistent down rate of speed. But then again, it could be something else. Now, let's get to this. This is some incredible video that has come into my Facebook. Check it out, coming out of South America.
Gente, o que é isso? Um drone desse tamanho, velho? Tem como não, velho. Um drone desse tamanho cabe uma pessoa dentro. Vai embora.
I love the broad daylight sightings in regards to flying saucers, metallic disc, whatever you want to call it. And this is one of those cases, and it was just captured within the past 24 hours. And we're looking at it very closely. Unfortunately, the camera's a little shaky. I guess she was a little nervous, and I don't blame her. You see something like this in broad daylight, in that kind of close proximity, your nerves might get a little shaken, but she was able to manage to actually get a pretty clear shot of it in some points of the video. And what we're looking at resembles the classic flying saucer. It's in broad daylight, so these are the videos that we love. But it's curious to me is that nowadays we don't see any of these flying discs, these metallic craft in this disc-shaped formation over America anymore in the United States, but you see them more and more in South America. I'm wondering what the reason behind that is, but in my opinion, maybe it's old tech that's being seen over the South American region, and what we're seeing over the United States is more new tech, like the Tic Tac and the gimbal and things like this. So it's interesting to see, but again, what's piloting this? It resembles how Bob Lazar states. It has this strange way of flying. It's a little oscillating at points, and then it has the sports car model, the way Bob Lazar basically states. It probably would only seat about 2 people at the most. Brent, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, great breakdown there, Blake. Exactly. There's all sorts of stuff going on in this video. And I got to say, it sounds like there's a mother-daughter witnessing this at the same time. And you could hear the little girl like ask her mom, what is that? And she's probably a little preoccupied with what she's looking at and what's actually going on. And so, yeah, I don't hesitate to say that she did a pretty good job actually capturing this video. You can almost estimate the size, maybe about 25 to 30 feet. Whatever this is, it's quite girthy. It's up there in the sky. It seems to have some sort of trajectory. It seems to go where it wants to go. It doesn't seem just random floating there in the sky. I wish she caught the video going a little longer just so we could get some more detail on what's really happening. But then again, these sightings over South America seem to be quite consistent.
Absolutely. It's interesting to note that these videos coming out of South America are more plentiful over the past 6 months than they have in over the past, I would say, 6 years. So something's going on over there. And if you come across these sightings, please just keep filming till they leave. Don't stop filming. Some people say that the cameras have issues, and I could understand that. But if you have the opportunity to film something like this in broad daylight, film as long as possible. This is advice coming in from Third Phase Moon. We want all the evidence. Now, let's get to this. It's a sighting that came in from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Marquise Hanna submitted this video to us. I asked him to videotape himself to explain what he experienced, what he saw in the night sky. Marquise Hanna was really amazing to oblige us. Here's his testimony before we get to his video.
Hey Third Phase, thanks for taking the time out to review my tape. I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through what exactly happened that night. So I'm a music producer. I usually stay up all night making music, and when I take breaks, I'll step into my backyard and basically just come out here, look at the stars, look at the sky, watch the planes that go by, helicopters, you know, anything that's out there, the moon. I have a telescope as well. But pretty much what happened was, so right over here is where the light started, made its way across here, and right as it got to about the middle, I decided to pull my phone out and see if I could get a good picture of it or a video. And then I ran over here because it started to move away, and I wanted to zoom in as far as possible. So this is the angle that you guys are seeing at night. I don't know if you could see that plane in the background, but this is usually like the flight path of all the planes coming, and then you have the personal planes that come directly over the house. So it was a weird catch. To be honest, I'm not sure what I really saw that night. I've seen something similar in that UFO in 2017 that turned out to be a SpaceX satellite that they launched over the city, but this was 3:32 a.m. in the morning. No flights going on in the area. I think it's either man-made from one of these bases. I live in between Quantico, which is in Dumfries, Virginia, and Hampton, Virginia, or Norfolk, Virginia, where they have a base down there, a Navy base. So I don't know if maybe that was a flight from that base to that base, or you know what exactly was going on, but it was moving pretty much southeast to north. And I can tell you that basically because the highway is over that way and it's north and south. So as a person who spends most of their time outside looking up in the sky and seeing all these planes and helicopters, and honestly just watching the channel and seeing all of these different videos that you guys put up, I've never seen anything like it. Even with the UFO that was in California in 2017, that had more of a tail towards the end of it than it did with this one. This one was literally just like a ball pushing through the atmosphere and kind of leaving a micro trail behind it, but nothing that you could, you know, film and the trail would stay there. It was literally just moving as quick as it could go. To be honest, out of all the planes and helicopters I've seen over, my lifetime, I'm 30 years old, I've never seen anything like that. Even on the internet, the closest thing I've seen was that UFO in California that turned out to be a SpaceX satellite. But I literally have never seen anything like that, not with my own eyes in person. So I think it's a mystery. Could be extraterrestrial or could be a military craft, but I've never seen anything like that before.
Now, it's interesting to note that Marquise Hanna shot this in Fredericksburg, Virginia around 3:30 a.m. March 4th, 2021. We're going to watch the video now that he shot on his iPhone 12 Max. Watch this. Marquise actually added some brightness and contrast and slowed the video down for us to get a closer look at what he captured. Alright, we watched the video. What did Marquise Hanna capture on March 4th over Fredericksburg, Virginia? We're looking at this. It's interesting to note that there was a similar sighting that baffled the world about a couple weeks ago, and everybody was amazed. What is it? What is it? Well, after doing some further investigation, I think we may have found what it possibly could be. It makes sense. We did a little research and found out that SpaceX, approximately at 3:30 or 3:30 in the morning over there at Cape Canaveral, they launched their SpaceX Starlink. And this is about the exact same time, shortly afterwards, where Marquise Hanna captured it, but it was over 800 miles away. What's interesting, from Cape Canaveral, the site on the rocket itself as it launched pretty much was unable to be captured by a lot of cameras on the ground over there due to cloud cover. They lost visual contact on it, but it's really amazing that Marquise was able to capture this 800 miles away. If this is what it is, I think it is, it's an incredible capture, but not extraterrestrial in origin. Your thoughts on this, Brent?
Yeah, it's pretty cool that Marquise actually captured this from such a vast distance away from the actual launch. Again, the way it disappeared over there in Florida, Cape Canaveral, and they said they kind of lost sight of it with just people on the ground, people trying to capture this on video, these events, these Starlink launches, which are quite impressive. Again, this one looks like it's triangular shape, which is interesting. We witnessed a couple of these launches and actually were stunned over there in LA when we saw it there one evening, and it broke news. We're trending on the top 20 on YouTube that night. So if you do capture this, we want to see it just in case. We want to observe the times, make sure everything's all calculated. It seems like this is a Starlink, but we never know. Maybe there was a switcheroo that went on that night.
Yeah, it makes sense, Brent. Maybe they launched two different rockets or two different possible experimental craft at the same time. I'm not exactly sure, but most likely what Marquise Hanna captured was the launch for SpaceX, giving out the Starlink to space to bring, I guess, more bandwidth to the internet. I'm ready. How about you guys? Hey, one last word. I want to thank everybody for joining us in this live premiere. All the support that you guys give us over as you watch this really means a lot. Giving us a big thumbs up, cool comments. It's a good platform, and we want to share your UFO videos. So if you captured anything crazy in the sky, something amazing, We want to see it. Like Brent said, it doesn't matter. We want to see it all. So upload that video to YouTube and copy paste that link to my email. We'll share your video on Third Phase of Moon. If it's what people need to see, that's what we're doing right here. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies, everybody. Be safe out there. We'll see you next time.
I think it's terrifying. I mean, this seems potentially like one of the biggest stories of my lifetime. And I don't care if it's about UFOs or whatever you call it. Something that we don't understand is getting very close to our military aircraft.
The technologies related to energy generation should come out first.
This hybrid aerospace underwater craft is able to basically generate an electromagnetic field.
It is President Trump's belief that the United States must remain as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and the air. And your charge is to see to that mission with the United States Space Force.
You know, there were 3 people on my team assassinated, and I was almost killed.
With a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
It's a matter of national security.
But apparently, just recovered are off-world vehicles not made on this Earth.
The president will respond to the subject the way they want them to. There's a black box with all the technologies that would give us a civilization that's sustainable, peaceful, etc., and that's been around for decades.
Everybody's asking the biggest question in the world. Are we alone?
Look, it's just stalled out there.
The narrative that's being launched, which is a false narrative, is that we're not alone and that those civilizations are a threat. The problem is that the public has to be informed and involved.
It could be a brief statement saying, hallelujah, I'm finally vindicated.
I'm not completely convinced they're gonna let this stay like it is.
But the people who are surrounding that level of our politicians and government are not told. Like the movie Independence Day, where Will says, let's go kick alien butt.